Joan, thank you for sharing all these amazing experiences. You're clearly very, very passionate about personal development, coaching, leadership development. Have you ever been in this industry, or there's a story somewhere there?
How much time do you have? Well, yeah. Let me shock you. First of all, I discovered that I was an encourager in 2003.
Okay.
So I don't know where you were at that time.
Somewhere.
So that shows you. I'm not a typical muzukulu of the president.
But you look so young.
Well, thank you for the compliment. Kansenene's concoctions, youthfulness. You know, the Bible says that He will renew our youthfulness, right? Yeah. So, but anyway, I think for me, when I learned that I was an encourager, it became a game changer for my life, because I was always asking myself, what does encouragement mean? Okay. And we are talking about a journey in 2003, and we're in 2022. Yes, so those 23. Yes, so you can imagine somebody who was born in 2003 when I was just trying to figure out they're at university, right? Have they graduated? Something like that. Yeah. So if you're a young person and you're watching this, you see what that means. Yeah. That I'm still growing even after discovering something about me back then. But by the time I was discovering that, I was in the newsroom. So I've worked in New Vision, then worked in World Vision, and started my own company. Imagine me. So I deal with visions, right?
Yes. And I've benefited from your company as well.
Yes, so imagine me, as the name suggests. We deal in the business of imagination. We want people to create their own reality. And I think that's where now coaching pops in. So in 2014, when I registered Imagine Me, and the intention at the time was not to really start a company. I was trying to register some material that I had started, intellectual property as it was. Then the lawyers led me into starting up a company. And then
lawyers.
Trust lawyers, yes. Well, maybe sometimes you just have to be shocked into doing things that you didn't realize you were going to do. And so when I started Imagine Me Africa, of course, now URA started popping up, and I realized, what did I get myself into? So I had to organize myself into a typical business, if you so wish. I have a board of advisors and all. But then when I embarked on that journey, I did a training by Jack Canfield. I mean, for me, that was the mind-blowing. I talk about this investment because I invested close to $8,000 to just understand things. And for me, that became a game changer. Because I have no hesitation investing in things here, because I've always invested in myself. In fact, one of the key investments that I ever made that kind of became my first eye-opener, when I did my master's in public health, because I was a journalist, and I was a practicing journalist, because once a journalist, always one. When I did that, I was doing a lot of health coverage, and I decided to do public health. I looked for scholarships that never popped up. Don't we all look for those scholarships?
Of course, every year.
Every year you're looking for scholarships. And that time I had joined Makerere University School of Public Health on a fellowship program, and they were giving us good money. It was $1,050 at that time. I mean, even now, if they told you have some $1,050, I wouldn't hesitate to do things. And when I did that program, I said, wait a minute, I can save and actually pay for my course. So I paid, and I remember exactly 1 month after my graduation, I had a phone call, and they told me they were looking for somebody who had done both public health and communications. And I was thinking, indeed, God is amazing. Because for me, the question was, how is this possible? And guess what? It was also good money.
So do you mind sharing how much?
Of course, I talk about money. There is nothing wrong about talking about money. But this was an assignment for 35 days. Now, the assignment was pitched so high, that I was shocked to find that what I was going to do was actually more of administrative work. 35 days, $200 per day.
Wow.
So
and
really,
you got back all the money you had paid?
I got back all the money that I used to pay for my masters and some, and some
And I'll pause you right there. So there are so many people who I think are very shy about spending their money on personal development, but you can clearly see the benefits. If you don't invest, you'll stay where you are. So
Yes.
bring that money, put it in things that will add value to you, and who knows, the universe will conspire and just open new doors for you. Yeah.
It always conspires.
Yes.
So I remember that because then now when I think about it, that was the first training that I was investing in myself.
Yes.
And in the formal sector,
Yes.
I mean the formal world that, you know, I'm going into a training to get a paper.
Yes.
A paper called a master's degree. So now when I do the Canfield one, Jack Canfield is a personal development expert.
Yes.
So I jump in and I'm paying close to $8,000, and it almost sounds like you're nuts to do such an investment.
Yeah.
But that was the birth of Dine and Dream.
Okay.
You know, you've attended
Yes,
some of those sessions.
life-changing.
But it came out of that. So 7 years of reaping out of my $8,000 investment.
So from there you jumped into coaching. You said coaching now it's 4 years?
Yeah, so now what happened in 2016, October 2016 is when I stepped out. I said, I want to go and pursue this thing full time. And I was I had an international job.
Yes.
I was working for World Vision, supporting several countries. So it was kind of a struggle to eventually decide that I have to leave. But my journey, I think, through that, first of all, I had a conversation with somebody called Alfred Agaba, and he put me on the spot asking me, when am I quitting employment? So I came up with my dates. And by the way, I came out 9 months earlier than the stipulated dates for myself.
You're such a good one. I keep setting dates and
me earlier. But then, so when I stepped out, I went into a class because I had never sold even tomatoes. So I was asking myself, how am I going to go out there and run a business when I've never run a tomato stall? What am I going to do with that?
Yeah.
So I stepped out and attended a business class. It was a 4-month class. And I remember in the finance class, they gave us an assignment to go out there and make sense of what we were stepping into. Now, in the personal development space, one of the things that stood out was the fact that there are no barriers to entry. Anybody will wake up and call themselves a coach, a motivational speaker, and they will get, the people, they are gifted speakers, gifted orators. They will always draw crowds.
Yes.
Now, I wouldn't describe myself as a gifted speaker. I wouldn't describe myself as that orator that draws crowds. But there was something that was disturbing for me. I said, I'm coming from an organized environment. There must be a way of creating a differentiator in the marketplace.
Yeah. And earlier you said your gift is encouraging.
Yes,
and there are
encouraging.
So many people in the marketplace who need encouraging.
Yes, they need encouragement, but how do you charge for encouragement? How will you go to somebody and say, come and I encourage you and give me $200, $300 to encourage you in a session? Yeah. But then I went online and started looking up programs. They were not necessarily speaking to me, but somewhat when I landed on Coach Masters Academy, it spoke my language. So I applied. I realized these guys are in Singapore. And immediately I thought Singapore is one of the most expensive places in the world. So I decided that I was going on there. And guess what? I signed up and the rest is
history.
I'm now a master certified coach.
Yes, master, the only one in Uganda. Yeah, so Joan, speak to the coaches. If anyone is looking to take the path that you've taken, what are some of the things they need to pay very good attention to?
Okay.
Yeah.
One of the things that I will start with is to tell you that we are in a virgin market. Yeah. Both in Uganda, but also on the continent. Probably the fairly mature environment is Nigeria and Kenya in our setup, really. So there is a lot of opportunity. But there are two things about coaching. One, you might be a leader, a manager, and you want to manage better. So you need to do some form of basic coach training, not necessarily to be an accredited coach, but to listen better and know how to support. But now, when I think about a coach who decides that you're going to trade as a coach, guess what? Very soon, I'm telling you as an early adopter, very soon the market will throw you out. Because I'm seeing clients beginning to ask for credentialing. Yes. So they now know the difference between an accredited coach and a credentialed coach. When we were starting out, they were simply asking, are you trained?
Yes, are you trained? Yes.
Now the difference is that when you're credentialed, it means that you've gone through training, you have a mentor who has held your hand, and they are objectively supporting you to grow. You're growing your muscle as a coach, and you support your clients better when you reach out to them, because you're going to listen better, but your curiosity is much higher, and you also get to really, you know, for me, the thing in my growth journey is that it has been humbling, because you realize it's actually me who grows more in that process. So if you're a coach and a professional coach and you really want to grow and tap into this virgin market that is definitely growing, it's here to stay, it is growing. People out there in the West are looking at this market. So how are we readying ourselves? So if you've already gone out there, you started the first step, then move ahead and get on to the next level, get credentialed, and let's continue building our ecosystem so that, yes, we know we are growing as coaches, but we are also supporting our people better.
And when we grow ourselves, we support our clients much, much better. Wow, you've challenged me. So I'm going to get onto the credentialing journey as well and tell others. So thank you for the work you do in this space. Maybe I want to ask you your parting shots for anyone willing to grow themselves. You know, this is a personal responsibility. Are there any words you have for that professional, for that young person? What should they do? What should they look up to?
Yes, I think you wrapped it up for me already. For me, the key thing in the personal development, take personal responsibility. You might be frustrated where you are at. Guess what? You're not going to change the circumstances that are causing your frustration. Events happen to us, but it is how you respond that is going to determine your outcomes. So don't be there blaming your background, blaming your bosses, blaming your spouse, blaming your children. That is not going to change circumstances. Take personal responsibility, take charge, get the right mind frame, and see you at the top.
See you at the top. Thank you so much. That has been Joan Mugenzi for you. She's a trailblazer. She's an amazing lady, a friend, and someone we all look up to. So thank you for your time, and good luck with the work you're doing with our International Coaching Federation and Coach Masters Academy.
Thank you so much, Brenda. It was a pleasure being here.
All right.